and some of these jobs come up and you get like a week's notice.
Yeah.
Let's say this is massive. The Champions League final, for example, obviously how the tournament runs out, you don't know who you'll be painting or who's going to make it through. And there's been projects where the World Cup, if England have made it through to the next round, obviously sadly they didn't, but we were going to go out and do a project, and it was like we're sitting waiting. Depending on the result, we were then going to have 3 days to paint something, get it filmed, get it produced and ready before the next match on the Wednesday.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of The Big Chat. I'm your co-host. Well, I am a co-host. I'm the co-host of this episode. This is Hero. His official name is Captain Horatio, for those who don't know. And he will be co-hosting me today on The Big Chat, because otherwise you're going to have him whining in the background because he's got severe separation anxiety. But he's one of my doggies, and he's going to join us for The Big Chat today. Now, my guest for today, as is running with our theme for the next few months, all around mental health and well-being, this is someone who he's been on before, and I just think he's fabulous. And he even did say this morning, I am like his number one fan. I'm a bit like a groupie. It's quite embarrassing, actually. But he's a remarkable young man who I've known now for, I reckon could be even like 4 or 5 years. He's supported us in the Soapbox. He's supported so many things that he's done. Oh my God, so much work. To see this young man on his journey, he's an amazing artist. He is Hugh Whitaker, the street artist. Is that what we call you now?
Yeah, Humour.
Humour. It's Humour. Hello, Hugh.
Hello, Nicole. Thank you so much for having me back.
I know.
The last podcast obviously must have gone okay that you've invited me back in here.
Oh, I see the sarcasm's coming out already.
It's a different vibe today, though. It was. I was
like kind of tense then, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Hugh's quite sarcastic. I can roll with sarcasm, as you know.
Brilliant.
Yes, it's quite a different vibe, isn't it?
It's nice. It's very casual.
Yeah, well,
nice and comfy.
You did. I mean, obviously, we've got something here that we'll talk about in a minute. But you did actually repaint. We did a refresh, didn't we, of the Big Chat?
We did
lately. But for those that don't know, my podcast studio, the amazing Humour, this is his creation. He's fantastic. He also created the Soapbox Stars latest logo, the new logo. That was Hugh's creation. He also probably has more artwork in my home than most people have.
I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, we were just talking through how many different pieces. I think I've probably done, obviously linked with your work as well, but at least 7 or 8.
You have.
And both your kids' bedrooms, a new canvas, both offices.
I know.
So this room, the room next door.
Yes, you have.
The grandfather clock.
A
couple of the Soapbox carts as well.
Yes, the big Big Chat hat you did.
Absolutely.
Which is amazing, with the big lips, which is coming out again. And we're going to be racing for mental health resources,
Brilliant.
Which is actually where my loving partner, Gary Jeffrey, purchased this amazing painting.
That's it.
That you did.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It is.
I like this piece. It was for one of the Switch nights that Tim Cullen puts on in Tunbridge Wells, and a lot of the artwork's based around their sort of their design for the event. And obviously the smiley face is quite iconic for him. And we used some of the background artwork as well. But I actually went along on the night and produced a bit of live artwork for a couple of hours.
Amazing.
Which is where I got to meet some of the team from Tunbridge Wells Mental Health Resources.
Spontaneous sign, that bad boy.
Yeah, if you have a little look, Baby D's on there.
Baby D.
A few. I mean, I won't name them all. You can.
Humour. I don't know who that bloke is, but he's all right.
Yeah, not sure how he got on there, but that then went up for auction for charity.
It did at Pushkin Antiques.
At Pushkin's, exactly.
Amazing.
And
Alex and Olga, and they were amazing.
Brilliant.
And Gary Jeffrey, Henry Paul Funerals, kindly. What actually happened was, this is what actually happened, because you weren't there on the night.
I wasn't. I unfortunately was elsewhere.
I bidded for it.
They didn't like £25, so that was a bit low.
I didn't bid £25 for it. I bid what you got for it.
And Gary went over the top.
But Gary bought it for me.
Well, he's a very, very humble man.
Yes, he is. He also bought me this very beautiful vintage Coco Love Chanel. I think Pushkin's Antiques knew I was coming somehow. It says Love Coco on it. Very clever thinking there. But it was all going to a very worthy cause, which was mental health resource.
And it sounds like a very successful night.
It was. They raised about 13,000, and they were on last week's podcast.
Brilliant.
So again, something else. I mean, that for me, as soon as I saw that, it's just that sits when we were putting it into my home. We were trying to figure out. Hugh very kindly came over and said, "Oh, I'll help you put it up." And we didn't know where it would go, did we? And
No.
I went, "Oh, I'll just pop it up there. I'll just pop it up there and leave it up there." And Hugh was like, "Hang on a minute, that's the perfect place."
Yeah.
And it literally hangs as you go in my front door. It's the first thing you see.
Yeah, it's great.
So it's good vibes, man.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for being the new owner.
Yeah,
of the
no, I
piece.
love it. I love it. I mean, I love it. And, thank you, Gary. Thank you. But I mean, listen, what a journey you've been on. When were you last on the podcast? 2 years?
It's at least 2 years, I think. And it was all relatively new for me as humour. And as if you watch that podcast, it was all quite new in my journey. I've been spray painting for probably about 4 years prior to that, but sort of running solo under the name of Humour.
Yeah.
And yeah, 2 years has gone by and a lot has changed.
A
lot has changed. Yeah, lots of very exciting projects, and more importantly, some just amazing people, amazing companies, amazing clients, and some very exciting jobs have come along, and lots more.
Then. Tell us about them.
Lots more coming up. But
I mean, you've done some big pieces.
I have. So I was fortunate enough to be introduced to a company called MurWalls, they're amazing. That they're doing some huge projects, lots linked, lots of football projects, lots of really exciting stuff with some big names. So we painted Elton John up in Watford for his
I saw that one.
homecoming tour. Yeah, so we painted him up there. We were meant to meet him, but unfortunately, it was about a year ago.
Yeah.
So COVID was still a little bit present, and because he was touring, he basically, like a lot of people, went into sort of their bubble, and he obviously wanted to finish off the tour. So didn't get to meet him, but we were in Paris for the Champions League final, painting some of the players from the two teams. We've done Jeremy Clarkson, which was a job linked with that we actually got through a friend of mine, Mick Mowgli, who's a very talented artist from Brighton.
What a name,
Mick Mowgli. Yeah,
Mick Mowgli.
You've got to get him on this chat.
Oh my God, he sounds brilliant.
He is. He's.
I mean, I just got a thing from my brother last night saying he's reading the Jungle Book to his children.
Mick Mo.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I need to get him on. Okay, hook me up afterwards.
He's someone that I actually met through social media.
Really?
And it was one of those situations where I'd just seen his work, but I mistook one of his pieces for one of mine. And what's actually quite a funny story. My van at the moment, there's on one of the sides of the van, there's a portrait of a lady, and
it's a very beautiful lady.
Not
as beautiful as your girlfriend.
No, of course not.
Thank you.
No one is, but
absolutely.
The photography for this piece was amazing, and she's like lit with different colours. There's orange and turquoise colours, so the photography itself's amazing. And I had the picture printed off, ready to go. It was just a project for me. I was going to paint the van one day, and I had the picture literally printed and ready. And I was just going through Instagram one evening, like you do, scrolling through artwork, feeling bad about your own pieces, but and saw the same painting, like on a wall, the same piece, and it was just one of those like, am I dreaming here? Like I was going to paint this, and then got in touch, and it was Mick, and I said,
"That's so weird."
And I went through his pieces, and I just said, like, your work's amazing. It's very your style's similar to mine. He does a lot of portraiture, a lot of like animals, characters. And just said, "Oh, your work's great. Let's meet up." And we painted this piece just after lockdown. And there's these dogs jumping in the air, and they've got their blue COVID mask flying off.
Oh my God!
And met him through that, and we've done loads of projects together. Anyway, he got me the piece for Jeremy Clarkson's.
That's amazing.
The brewery.
See, I remember a couple of years ago in the pandemic when it was like, what would your dream be? And your dream was to be travelling around the world doing things like this.
That's it.
And you're doing it now.
It's slowly getting there.
You're very humble.
I mean, my end goal is still quite a long way away.
Well, look, taking over the world takes time.
It does, doesn't it?
It really does.
And try and enjoy yourself along the way. You can't
build a
rush it.
house, and
lots going on.
There is,
lots of things.
One step at a time, Hugh. You're doing all right. I mean, you're still 20 something, which is just appalling. I mean, I can't wait till you get to your 30s.
That's gonna shock people when they know that I am actually in my 20s and not my teens still. But
you're not.
Yeah, I'm older than I look.
I know it shocks people. I'm not in my teens anymore, actually. Moving on, would that be appropriate to talk about what inspired you to become an artist? Because there will be people that haven't listened to the episode before, and this might be the first time they've come into listening to you talking about work and why mental health is so close to your heart.
Absolutely. Well, I never want to sound like a broken record, sort of repeating a little bit of the backstory, but I'll explain it for anyone who hasn't met or seen the last podcast. But mental health is something very close to my heart because the reason that I got into spray painting mainly was due to the loss of a very good friend of mine, Emmett, who sadly died. I think we worked out. It was really nice. I saw his. I met with his parents last week for the first time in a long time, and this is his sister. His sister's got engaged, which is beautiful. We're so happy for them. So I hadn't seen them for ages. We met up over Christmas, and I think Wendy, his mum, mentioned it had been 7 years.
Wow.
But I said to her, to me it feels like 4 maximum, and she said to her it feels like 1 year. Obviously, time scale and distance is different for everybody, but he is a huge inspiration for me because when we grew up from the age of about 7 or 8, we started off with spray cans and we used to paint boards in the garden and whatever. And he carried on and was painting for most of his life. Well, all of it really. And I did a big tribute of him. Yeah. Probably would have been 6 years ago. Yeah. Big spray painted portrait of him, and that was sort of the first real mural that I painted. And it triggered from there. It did, didn't it? And sort of got down the route of street art and spray painting. And then you had the piece as well that was in that. I mean, it got so much press. Oh, you've had so many pieces that have had so much press recently. Actually, there was a lot. There was one that you did in Brighton with the comic. You know about names. Help me out here. Yeah. So. I'm menopausal brain. Look, I'm not a teenager, all right? I'm 47. I'm menopausal. I don't know anyone's names. Who are you? Who are you? But you did that piece. Yeah, I did a Sean Locke tribute. So you also did quite a controversial piece that got into some of the national press, didn't you? Yeah, you did. That was a couple of years ago. I'm not sure. I think that one was before the last podcast. Yeah. But the QAnon. Yeah. I don't know. I love that piece. Him. Yeah, the incident in America that happened a couple of years ago with the storming of the Capitol, and painted the warrior, the sort of Viking-looking man with animal fur and horns. Love a Viking. Yeah, just love a Viking. Just get Gary a Viking hat. So talk to me. We're looking at some photos, and we're those that watch the YouTube episode will be able to see these come up. But these are some of the other pieces that you've been working on, Hugh, aren't they? So is there anything we haven't covered on there? I'm not sure, really. I mean, a few of these pieces, so they've all come through murals. So that they've getting in touch with them has been great, and they're a really good team. And everyone's still their own artist when working with them. We all do our own projects, but we come in together to collaborate. So you collab. So we've had a Transformers piece that came out a couple of months ago, which was really good. God. Yeah. Which one? Which Transformer? So Bumblebee and Optimus Prime. We painted those two. Optimus Prime. But there's it was quite an interesting project because we painted each of those two characters in their 4 different versions, from the car and to the them as a Is robot. Liam Neeson Optimus Prime? Oh, he's kind of got that voice. Do you know what I mean? If I knew, I probably wouldn't be able to tell you. I know. Oh. I don't know. I'd have to kill you. I'll be back. But he has got one of those but Bumblebee and Optimus Prime. Oh my God, see, I'm just such a big kid. And what else have you been up to? What else have you been doing? Up at Steven Gerrard's house, about a month ago, and we painted his son's bedroom.
Wow.
Leo, who's 5 years old and is mad about football.
Really? Because you've done some amazing football. I mean, the thing is, your work is, your portraits are unbelievable.
Thank you.
No, I mean, literally unbelievable. I mean, you are, for those who don't know, you're going to be spray painting my new fantastic Batmobile, which is going to be my Fiat 500 Big Chat car.
That's going to be good.
That is going to be so much fun. And Hugh has agreed that he is going to spray it up for me, Big Chat styly. I'm going to be bombing around in it because petrol prices, you can go and do one, quite frankly. My big old Velar is going to be sitting on the garage forecourt, and I'm going to be bombing around in my Fiat 500 with a great big pair of lips or whatever Hugh decides to do with it. And we're going to get the community involved in it, aren't we, somehow?
I didn't know whether I could sort of spill the beans on.
Please spill the beans
on the plan. But what we're going to do?
What's your plan?
Well, first of all, I can speak from experience. Driving around in a vehicle absolutely covered in paint definitely turns heads. So
that's all right. I can handle that. That's okay. That's no problem.
Brilliant.
Do I get a few horns, honking at me?
Yeah, it depends what I write on the back.
Okay. All right. I better monitor you on that one then. Yeah, you'll probably write something cheeky that I won't know about until I'm driving along the road or something. So okay.
Well, we'll see what the community want to do. But as you said, what the plan is, what we're going to do, we're going to get the vehicle all taped up and ready to go.
We're going to get Sticky Monkeys to wrap it.
Absolutely.
Sticky Monkeys, a fabulous company. They're going to wrap it for us.
Yeah. And
then that gives you your base coat, doesn't it?
That's it.
Because you can do that with any vehicle. It's important to say, actually, because your van is amazing. It is amazing. I love it. I love it.
I didn't actually get mine wrapped just because it's a bit of a battered van anyway. And I thought getting it wrapped, I just painted straight onto it.
I'm wrapping it because it's Gary's car, really.
Yeah.
I should wrap it, really.
I think your Fiat 500 is probably worth a bit more than that old
tin
tin can.
I think it's just probably, it's just polite too, isn't it, really? He's got me that. I should probably get it wrapped. But anyway, yeah. But I'm excited about that, so we're going to sort out that.
Yeah, but what we're going to do, so we're going to get it wrapped, cover up all the windows, have it ready to paint, and get a team of young artists,
crazy
students, kids, adults, whoever. We're not gonna keep it very open, and they can come along, and we're gonna basically let loose with some paint and let people go absolutely wild on it. And then I'll finish off the design with obviously the lips and the branding and clean.
Just so I'm not driving around and like just a giant paint tin that's just like explosion. I mean, I'm all for creative art, but
we've got to make sure.
I would like some sort of branding involved.
Okay, I'll have a little thing.
If you can.
I can probably squeeze that in. We'll have a look at the end. But
the thing I love about working with you, Hugh, is that now you know me so well and I know you so well that I can literally just say to you, please, can you just do that?
Yeah.
Just do it. And I think that must be the nicest thing. I mean, certainly with my clients, I have clients that say to me, they're like, I don't care what you do, just do it. And they trust me. And there's that trust there that you know a person and you haven't got to try and figure it out. So I whatever you do for me is always brilliant. So it saves me a real job.
Nice.
I don't think the day will come when I have to smack your wrist and say, that's not what I wanted.
I hope not.
No.
I hope not. But that's the best thing about sometimes like the last minute jobs end up being the best ones.
Yeah.
Ones where you sort of rock up in the morning with a very, very vague brief and some colours. Yeah. Then you kind of have a little play about and then they end up being the most exciting things because you can definitely overthink designs quite a lot.
You can overthink everything. You can overthink everything, I think, is a running thing, really. Because I tend to be I was talking to someone last week on my podcast. She's a personal friend of mine, but she's a Hollywood reporter. So she has to research everything, like so intrinsically, and she also has a podcast and she researches I'm like, walk in, have a chat, let's have a chat now, like I don't know anything. That's the way I like to do, and that's just the way that I like to roll, and it works for me.
We get there in the end, don't we?
We get there in the end, exactly. So I think everyone has their different way of creativity, don't they?
Yeah.
So what else have you got planned for this year?
So probably it was one of those, it got to the end of 2022 and I was having a little think about what I've done in the last year or two and sort of where I want to go. And there's a project that you and I are going to help sort of...
Is there?
bring to life.
Yes.
And what I want to do is, I just thought, give a little bit more back to the community locally as well.
Yeah.
And doing a few more charity pieces as well, because I felt that I've kind of let some of the charitable work be put aside due to sort of these big high pressure jobs
You've
coming
been
up.
busy, Hugh. Give
Yeah.
yourself a break.
And some of these jobs come up and you get like a week's notice.
Yeah.
They say this is massive. The Champions League final, for example, obviously how the tournament runs out, you don't know who you'll be painting or who's going to make it through. And there's been projects where the World Cup, if England have made it through to the next round, obviously sadly they didn't, but we were going to go out and do a project, and it was like, we're sitting waiting. Depending on the result, we were then going to have 3 days to paint something, get it filmed, get it produced and ready before the next match on the Wednesday. So there's a lot of very high pressure stuff, although the painting itself, I find it very relaxing. It's all the sort of organisational stuff. So anyway, because of that, we're going to collaborate together and push some projects linked around local charities.
Yeah.
And we're going to hopefully try and hit 4 this year.
We are going to hit 4 this year, Hugh.
4 different...
Not hopefully, we are.
We're definitely going to hit 4 charities this year, linked around different, different topics, different issues that are around us every day. Mental health.
And you're going to spray some huge murals that's going to...
Mural doesn't know about this yet, but the murals that are going to go... The murals that are going up we're going to do huge walls, big walls.
We're going to do big walls.
There's a few round...
Anyone's got a big wall that you want to support charity, get in touch with me or Hugh.
That's it, please do. We've got a few set up for the first few projects, which is going to be great. But we're going to do sort of aim at charities linked around homelessness, food,
mental
education,
health.
But more importantly, mental health for the first one.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's very close to me.
And mine too,
of course.
Yeah.
All of us really, especially more so in the last few years, and just lots of issues, and the world seems to be getting more and more stressful and more difficult and more expensive. So the point of these projects is to raise awareness, bring the community together, and painting these large pieces. Just what I found from experience is it brings people together and kind of opens people's eyes to the issue and what we can do. And obviously we're going to hopefully raise some money and do some funding and just try and help as much as we can through your work and mine.
Yeah, I know. It was an honour for you to ask me, so thank you, Hugh, because I'm absolutely honoured to be a part of it, and I'm very, very excited about it. And I mean, I did see this programme once where they were doing a garden piece. It reminded me a bit of you, because I told you about what I want you to do with a certain something, a wall, as we should say. But they let the lady, the presenter, do a little poppy on it, because a poppy's quite easy to paint. Apparently, I don't know. Anyway, can I put a little thing on it?
Yeah, of course.
I don't know what it will be.
Well, depending on what designs we're going to do, we can do stuff.
I'm sure I could do something like if it's that big. Won't spoil it, will it?
Absolutely. Well, what we can do with the designs,
I mean, I don't know.
No, you can. It will only improve the piece. But what we can do is, quite often with a lot of the sessions that I do, I can produce stencils or have people come along and actually add to the piece.
Oh, okay, because you can do all of that, can't you? Because you used to do loads of kids' parties. I mean, you've done. I mean, my son still has his piece, Galaxy, massive on his wall in his room. That he did his paint party. He loved that. The
parties are great. I still do them, but they're like a summer thing. Obviously, what with the weather at the moment, it's not very good for outside stuff.
Too high profile now.
Trying to, but
I mean,
got a long way to go.
You're gonna still talk to me when you're like.
I think you've got very high expectations for me. I don't
listen. I can see in the future. I know what's going to happen.
This will probably just be a bi-yearly podcast.
Okay, that's fine.
Our little chats. We'll be doing this, and we'll go, "What's happened the last 2 years ago?" Oh, I did a couple of the things I wanted to do.
Eiffel Tower last week, and
that'd be a good job, actually.
Can you
that'd
imagine
be quite fun.
that?
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? What would be that? I mean, look, you know what I always wanted you to do. I always wanted you to do was to paint like a giant portrait on a rock.
Yeah.
I just saw it somewhere on a giant rock that you could look down with waves crashing into it. I don't know how that would happen, but I just think things like that I see, you know, because I'm the same. I go through Instagram and I see things and I'm always like, oh my God, that would be amazing. I mean, I would just love to be able to paint the way you do, because you're painting, certainly from me watching you as an artist over the years and knowing you personally, you're a good egg. You're a good egg, and it comes out in your work. And also, your heart's in the right place. You're very professional, way beyond your years. I mean, you know how to handle clients of all types and shapes and sizes, and that's important. And you do it with integrity. And if you say you're going to do something, you do it, and that stands for a lot in my book. And I mean, your work has really expanded from my perspective. It's just, I mean, your portraits are just off the scale. They're photos.
That's very kind of you. I don't know what to say. That's very, very, very kind words.
But
so thank you.
But I mean, I can't imagine being an artist, because I know when you're doing something, you don't realise that you're doing it. Do you know what I mean? When you're doing something you love, you don't realise. Do you ever look at something that you've done and go, oh my God, I actually did that?
It normally takes a couple of months for me to then look back at it and realise, like, it's come out okay kind of situation. There's lots, don't get me wrong, there's lots, and I finish them and I go, it's great, I love it, you know, really happy.
Yeah.
There's also lots that, you know, there's been issues, you know, surfaces or the conditions, and you look back and you go, oh, I could have tweaked that a little bit, but
you learn.
Yeah, you learn. But there's a fine line between getting the jobs in and flipping the jobs and obviously getting paid and getting on to the next job.
Yeah.
And then there's the other side of it where you're a perfectionist and you want to spend a month on one piece and get it perfect. There's the fine line between getting through them. And I keep having to remind myself saying, these are good and the quality is good enough. Like, the clients are really happy with them. They're great. But there's lots that, the ones that we're talking about today, I could go back and do, many hours on most of them. The Jurgen Klopp piece. So that, again, MurWalls piece, linked with Boss Night. So that one's up opposite Anfield, and it's the full headshot and upper body
like a picture
of Klopp. But his beard as well. I mean, the beard took me like half a day to do. But I could spend another day doing the beard properly and getting all the layers, because
you're obsessed with the beard, Hugh.
Hundreds of thousands of hairs that there are there. Obviously, you could do all of them if you don't need to do them all, but there's loads of bits. The jacket, I could spend another day. I could sort the jacket.
Maybe I could just buy a house with a great big wall and you could just do a mural of my head on it.
That's a great idea.
I mean, I would just love that.
Do it.
I don't know if Gary would like it.
No. I mean, to be honest, Tunbridge Wells...
I've got my dogs tattooed on my arm, so, maybe I could get... Oh, there's too many ideas.
Possibilities are endless.
It is. Possibilities are endless, aren't they?
But
we'll start with a car.
Do you know what I found? Tunbridge Wells is awful for walls.
Yes, why is this?
By that I mean walls without windows, without doors, without electricity wires, without boxes, bins.
Why?
Like unobscured walls. You go up to Liverpool, at the end of every terrace house, can you see the wall? It's beautiful.
We need walls, don't we?
Yeah, give me walls.
How many walls do we need? We need 4 walls this year.
Well, we've got the first 4 sorted.
We have got the first 4
But the plan for this is obviously it will run on ongoing, and then
it's a great opportunity as well, because obviously guests that have come on to the show and have seen how we've done the studio have then, gone on and worked with you on doing things within their own office environment space. And that is the thing, is it has become a work of art. Yeah. And it is it's like tattoos, isn't it? It's like when everyone was a bit like, oh, tattoos. Whereas now people are like, wow, that tattoo, I love it. I love the way it can make a creative space. Yeah. I mean, I would just have my whole house painted. I would. I would if I could. I would, but I can't. So, I mean, maybe one day I will, but it's just such a brilliant thing. But also, how things change, isn't it? I mean, I know at some point in the future this will be refreshed and things will be refreshed.
That's
and
it.
It's and walls are great for that, because, like you say, they're platforms to showcase what you're doing.
Definitely.
And different causes.
Yeah. And just especially with the public art or the street art.
Yeah.
It's free to view. So these charities, you've got a picture, you've got a massive wall, 3-story wall on the edge of a main road. It is advertising, but obviously the way that we do it and the way that I paint and stuff, it's got its own style. It's totally unique and original work, and it just turns heads. And lots of, especially with the tribute pieces, you know, I have a lot of emotional clients or people, and when you finish these pieces, it means a lot. It means a lot, and sort of the context of the piece and why we're doing them and what we're doing them for. You know, after we've the first project that's coming up in March, once we've got that done, I know it's going to be an emotional day.
Yeah, it will be an emotional day.
Yeah.
And do you? And I mean, you've obviously on Instagram. I mean, I love the reels that you do and the stuff that you do, and you work with another very good videographer. I'm going to say, as we're in the presence of one right now. But we also, you know, you do some really good stuff, really eye-catching stuff. I really like the way you put your stuff together personally. Will you be letting people come and view? Like, how will we do that? Will we announce the day that we're doing it and invite people to come and view it? Because that does seem to be something. I mean, at the Soapbox, you painted Mario on the side of your car, didn't you?
That's it.
And on the side of your van, and you had people watching you paint. Kids love it, as do adults as well, actually. So will we have that with the walls? Will we?
Yeah, definitely.
Are we allowed? Council, we will check with you, don't worry.
Absolutely. I mean, the whole point of the project is to be a community project.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely post when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And where.
So people can come and see.
Yeah.
And spray my car.
That's it.
And do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And write rude messages on the back.
Probably.
Oh my God. What am I doing?
I don't know if you're going to regret this project with your vehicle, with your car.
I'm not going to regret anything that you do.
Perfect. I've got a good team of kids who might want to come and graph it up. So
oh my God,
it's going to be good. But that's an exciting one. We won't go too much more into it, because that again is going to be a public piece, and you know, people are probably going to end up calling the police thinking there's some crazy high level vandalism going on.
Let's just not do it near Marks and Spencer's on the industrial estate late night when they're doing the wheelies. Every time I go down there at late night and there's cars like with bumpers, I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah,
the whole movement.
The car meet outside.
Can we not do that?
Outside Pets at Home every Saturday. Yeah,
I don't want to be part of that. Okay, all right. So sorry, Pets at Home. We really like you. I've actually purchased some pets from you and now have them in my home. If you want to give us a wall, that's fine, but we won't use your car park. No. But we could do with a big wall, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Some big walls. There's big walls in those industrial estates.
Yeah, I found that Tunbridge Wells, I don't know, just the local area is not great for the walls, but I think the huge ones we're going to find. So
we're going to find some huge walls. So what are the plans have you got before we wrap up today? What are the plans you got for 2023? Come on, you built your house.
House is done. Yeah, pretty much.
That sound like you literally built your house.
Yeah, no, it wasn't quite that extreme. But you were just mentioning about social media, and at the moment I think sort of this the modern age of artists. It's so much easier nowadays to become, you know, a well-known artist through social media. Not saying that I am, but there's artists out there who are just absolutely killing it due to, it's all about
collaboration.
I was going to say documentation and like the way that you show your content. So as you say, reels or videos. And I'm a massive technophobe, so that's not very good for, like big level. I can use a spray can and the pencil. I'm just awful at the digital work. That. So, but I'm going to sort of venture out and, you know, well, ideally soon I'm going to be sorting out a YouTube channel. And
good.
First of all, getting help from professionals, other videographers and photographers and editors, and just to start get the ball rolling with some videos, because, you know, it's one of those things that
people love to watch it, Hugh.
Yeah, they do. But to do it all on your own is, you know, very, very difficult. There's very few people who can actually do all of it and run a business solely on their own. You need to outsource some of your work. So but what I found is, you know, if I couldn't show these pictures online, then not many people would see them. Or if they didn't, you know.
Well, if you didn't say for example, the Tom Moore piece that you did, had about 100,000, didn't it? On the Sean one that you did.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally went boom,
They
just
do.
like that. And that was just organic growth.
That's it.
So it's like you're saying, it's you've got something that people want to see.
Yeah.
And then people share it and share it and share it and share it. And
That's
that's
it.
how it happens. And then that's how people get back in touch with you and you get to do what you love.
But what's really nice about doing basically the big walls or the vehicles or the festivals, they're such like interactive situations. And as you say, watching someone spray paint's great. I watch videos all day long of people spray painting, and I know exactly how it works, and I do it myself.
Yeah.
Just watching the paint hit the wall, and yeah, it's just I need to film it and actually start producing some, good quality videos and more content.
So it's going to be like Humour Productions soon, is it?
Coming up soon.
I like it. All right. Well, you heard it here first.
But,
well, I'm excited. So for anyone that doesn't know how to get in touch with you, I mean, it says it on the shirt.
That's it. Humour, spelt the American way, HUMOR.
Yes.
Street art. So, socials is probably the most up-to-date place to see any of my work. But check out the website.
We'll be doing lots and lots of socials together in the next year, which I'm excited about. You're going to be at the Soapbox, aren't you?
Definitely.
You've marked it out.
Yeah.
24th of June.
Absolutely.
Look at his face. His face is like, oh my God, there's something in Madrid. I think I might have to do that.
I think I'm...
I'll let you off.
I'm hoovering the cats that day.
If it's hoovering the cats, I'm not letting you off. But if you're going to California to do in LA, they've got the most amazing walls.
Absolutely. Yeah, America's just
they are
overrun
just like when I
with
go and see my friend.
Blank walls.
Honestly, some of the walls and some of the stuff that's on the walls. I should have a word with her.
But Soapbox, obviously, this year it's going to be, another amazing year. And you've asked me a few times already, am I going to be racing? And I haven't got back to you yet, but I'm...
Just race.
Oh, I'm not sure whether I'm ready for it.
What are you not ready for?
It's got to be a giant spray can on wheels. But
you get a chassis. It's like not hard.
I'll leave the viewers in suspense. They're not going to know whether I'm going to be racing or not. But
oh my God, that would be so cool. You could have spray coming out of the can.
That's a great idea. Smoke
as you're
smoke
going
grenades
down.
coming out. Yeah.
You could have kids throwing paint bombs at you as you go down.
Love it. That's a great idea.
I mean, I've got a few of them. I can keep going. But I won't give it all away.
Absolutely.
But I am going to guilt trip you now because obviously the big chat is going down.
Yeah.
We're going to be supporting Hospice in the Weald mental health resource. Chasiata is going to be supporting Pickering. So I probably will be calling on you for that one because I need another one made
Definitely.
up.
No problem.
But yeah, the big chat staying as it is. It's beautiful. It's got the red lips on the front, humour on the back. It's perfect. So that's going to go as it is. But spray can with spray coming out of it. Come on.
It's great. That's a great idea.
Please put underneath the comments, you need to do this. Pressure. Under pressure.
Got to do it now, haven't I?
You've got to, you actually have got to do that. That would actually be really cool. Because normally you're there in one capacity. You did a children's party one year. You did a live spray in the van one year. But actually to get you down racing.
It's probably my time to race, isn't it?
I think it's your time. I think if you want to go to Humour Productions, you need to go up a level. You need to get in the car. You need to steer the car yourself. So I think on that note, is there anything else we need to cover?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Okay. Well, you can give me a hand getting that back in my house.
No problem.
Because you hold it much better than I do. As you're when I'm carrying it. But yeah, I love everything you do, and I just think you have a great heart, Hugh, and I think that comes out in your work. And I think you're a remarkable young man. I know I say it to you a lot, but you don't meet many of them. So you're going to do very, very well. And people that work with you are very lucky to have you around. So thank you for everything you do to help.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for this idea for this year, because I think it's really brilliant. I think this is going to be a really important year for a lot of people to help them, and we'll be able to do that. So
definitely.
And we collab, all right, me and you.
Yeah.
Don't we?
Got some very exciting stuff coming up.
Yeah, cool.
Can't wait. Thank you so much for having me back.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for all the kind words. And
I know, and Hero just had so much to say, didn't he?
Yeah, he's
Hero, you got anything to say? No. He's not bothered. He's like, as long as I'm snuggled in this jumper, I'm happy.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, on that note, go and spray something beautiful. I need to talk to you about my Fiat 500 tonight.
No problem.
Although I am quite scared now about the Fiat 500, but my trust is with you.
All good.
Okay. All right.
Cheers.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.